Oh, hey, you guys. How are ya?
It's my two favorite ladies in the whole wide world.
What? Thank you.
Don't get used to it. I might not say those compliments ever again.
I'll take it as it when we get it. Don't you worry.
What a roller coaster ride of emotions we've just gone through.
Oh, God. Up, down, good looking, not good looking. I don't
He's
know.
like, I love you, but I may never say this again.
Beware.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, God. So you guys, y'all
Sharon.
good? Y'all good?
Yeah, we're good.
Coolio. What a week. Gosh, it feels like just yesterday we were chatting. And I'm not even being facetious. It feels like this week has flown by in the best possible way.
So my better half is in Ireland visiting the familia,
See?
and I'm in charge of Dose Huskies.
Uh-oh.
And so I'm exhausted. Back to you.
Wow.
That will be all.
Yesterday I did 24,000 steps.
Oh,
24,000.
Yeah,
Wow.
I did, and I burnt 1,000 because I have, the Apple Watch 3 or whatever, and so
Yeah.
I think I've only ever seen it once before on my watch where I crossed 1,000 move calories.
Whoa.
Wow.
And I did 102 minutes of exercise.
Holy.
Yeah. So and it was broke. It wasn't just dogs, but it was, like a 3K walk in the morning with dogs. Then I had a very busy day on the farm, and then another 4K walk with the dogs at night. And so
I don't think I've ever done more than 20,000 steps. Even like traveling in New York, whatever, where you spend the whole day walking. I don't think I've ever crossed.
It's funny that you're saying that because that's the only time I have crossed into like the 25,000 plus category was in New York because you're walking nonstop.
Yep.
Wow.
Clearly,
Good for
you
you,
went to bed
Kel.
later than I did, and you walked.
And
Good for you.
And then there's an actual fun part to the story. So I was exhausted and went to bed at 8:45 p.m. last night, set an alarm for 10:15 because I knew I had to take the dogs out before the overnight sort of. So I just went down for a quick nap and totally slept through the
earthquake.
You did.
I can't believe you missed the earthquake. It was a real rattler.
And the best part is the earthquake epicenter was 15 minutes from my home.
Wow.
Slept right through it.
I didn't feel the earthquake on the actual island of Montreal. It didn't reach me, or I didn't know.
Wow.
I was awake at home. All right. It wasn't that big of an earthquake. Nobody should panic.
Went south.
No one was panicked. You're right. It was just for us. It just was. We heard glasses rattling in the cupboards, but like it went on for 3 or 4 seconds. Where you're like, "Hey, what's that?" And 3 or 4 seconds is not long, obviously, but it's sort of like, okay, well, what is it? And okay, it stopped. And I'm like, earthquake. And then within like 5-6 minutes or so, all you had to do was go on social media. Did you feel that? Anybody feel that? What was that? Did you feel that?
That was a really, really big truck.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Passed right in front of everybody's houses at the same time.
Well, you know what? We have got a lot to talk about as usual today. We're going to tell you who's going to pay tribute to Olivia Newton-John at it's the American Music Awards, right, Kel?
Yeah.
That's coming up. It's usually the AMAs first and then the Grammys. So I think we got the Grammy announcement today too, didn't we?
Grammys, yeah, they come out, yeah.
Wild. So big numbers for a lot of big names. Also, another star shining on Hollywood's Walk of Fame. And the battle for holiday supremacy might be over. We'll talk about that. And a happy birthday party for Ginger Spice. Her birthday was back in August, right?
I feel like it's been a hot minute ago. Here goes Adam, our researcher extraordinaire.
Well, the fun fact is that when you turn 50, you get to celebrate for as long as you please. And so that's the case, at least for Ginger Spice, because we'll start there, by the way, birthday vibes, because most of the Spice Girls were on hand for this great party that happened to honor Ginger Spice and her 50th birthday.
And her birthday was on August 6th.
Yeah, so
it was a hot second ago.
You get to extend the celebrations throughout the year, I'd say. And it was really cool, actually. What was circulating on social media the other day was that video footage from the party where part of the soundtrack to the fun included Spice Girls music. So
They had to.
with Ginger and Posh and Sporty and Baby Spice all there, they were singing like they were having their own little party. It's super cool, I think, to watch a scenario like that happen because they look legitimately like friends at a party. You know what I mean? But like the impact of hearing a song like that for friends at parties around the world that aren't in the Spice Girls is also as inclusive and unifying as it looked like it was for them.
I have a question. I wonder if Mel C's publicist was at that party because they still
no
have not
mention.
responded to my communiques.
Whoops.
I wish I had been at that party just to talk to that publicist.
Just to walk up and give him a dirty look, right?
Yeah.
Nothing. And then walk off.
Exactly.
Well, again, happy birthday party vibes for Ginger Spice. I say we might even find another birthday reel next month.
Yeah.
Because 50
That'd
is
be
a big
great.
deal. Yeah.
A Christmas reel.
And part of what the message was on social media from the Spice Girls was, hey, Mel B, you were missed. So that's cool.
I'm surprised it must have been something big for her not to be there because she's like, she loves the girls a lot. So for her not to be with them, like she's usually leading the charge when it's something for them to do something together. Yeah. So it must have been a big deal if she wasn't there.
Well, we know that we were talking about her a few weeks ago, weren't we? She's
got
with
her damehood.
That's
Damn it. Damn it. She's busy.
She should be called Sir Dame-a-lot. I like it.
I like that too. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, on we go with information. But before we get into that, why don't we get into some trivia, Kel?
Woo!
90s now. Trivia.
Bing bong.
Bing bong right back.
So we are going to start with a news and politics question.
Ooh, that's so fun.
I guess I'll preface this by saying, like, be fast, Adam, be fast.
Okay.
Sharon's gonna be fast.
I feel like you're rooting for Adam more than me.
No, I just know it, like, he needs to be on it because otherwise you're gonna pounce. Like,
Sharon should have like a handicap or something. I should get the edge on this.
Okay.
Who was the Pope throughout the 90s?
Adam. Jean-Paul II.
Did you say John Paul II?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
Very good.
Sharon, why didn't you pounce on that? Like,
because he looked like he needed a win.
Okay.
I know my popes.
He's down with the popes. He's
you know
so
hilarious?
He's being so papal right now.
It's funny because, as we know, I have the fun trivia cards, and this was a nice blue one. Actually, it's a nice turquoise. And I guess you know how people make the mistake often of saying, and this is before they were in the news or not, but people say the Ukraine, like people in the Ukraine, but you're supposed to say Ukraine, like people in Ukraine. And I have a friend that I used to work with in radio in Toronto, and she is of Ukrainian background and would get very, very perturbed if somebody would say the Ukraine.
Yikes.
And so what's interesting is this says, because you would think it would be like, who was the Pope throughout the 90s? But it was, who was Pope throughout the 90s?
How did you say it? Was it Jean Paul? Like, how do you pronounce? Because I said it in French, but
en anglais, it's John Paul II.
John Paul II. All right. Good to know.
But Jean Paul sounds much more ritzy, if you know what I mean.
Jean Paul II. Yeah.
Jean Paul II.
Yeah.
I imagine though that I imagine, like I'm off in Imagine Town, that maybe in Italy he'd be Gianni Paolo.
And what, Juan Pablo in Brazil? Like,
that sounds accurate. I would ask our Mexicans that work with us here, but they have gone home to Mexico for the winter. So,
oh wow,
yeah.
Smart.
And so I drove them to the airport last Thursday.
Yeah.
And so my brother and I had, because they had an early flight. So Raul, Jorge, and Luis, if you will, heading back to Mexico. I was at the farm at 4:15 a.m. It was me and the cows. That was it, waiting for them to drive them to the airport. They were supposed to be there at 4:20. They rock up at 4:39, like 20 minutes late. I'm starting to stress because I need to get them to the airport.
Yeah.
Anyways, finally get them to the airport and I'm hugging them goodbye. And Luis, who's like the ringleader, he picked me up and gave me a massive bear hug. It was so funny.
Aw, that's nice.
So I felt like I'm one of the crew now. So I wonder if Kelly translates into a fun like Espanole name. I don't
Well,
know.
I think it translates to the way your nieces and nephew refer to you.
Oh, as a lady of the evening. Kiki.
No, Kiki, lady of the night.
Yeah. That's only because when Tyson was born and was learning to talk, he couldn't get out Kelly, so it came out as Kiki.
Well, of course.
And what were
Super
you?
cute.
Did you have a name? You must have had a name.
No, they were managed through all.
They managed Sharon.
Yeah, Sharzy. Mostly my family calls me Sharzy.
Oh, very nice. That's a
Sharzy.
good one. I like that.
Sharzy and Sharona.
Yeah. Like you've now nicknamed me Kelowna.
Yeah, that just Adam. I texted Kelly the other day and said and referred to her as Kelowna because she said, "Thank you, Sharona." I said, "You're welcome, Kelowna."
I love it.
It's been sitting there for years, Sharon.
Years just waiting to be
Waiting for
plucked.
it.
And now we
question-
will beat the crap out of that one too.
Question number 2 is under pop culture.
Oh, good. We remember there's a second question.
Here we are. President Bill Clinton famously played saxophone on which talk show host's program?
Sharon. Arsenio Hall.
There we are. Yep.
Yeah.
Like, was he good at it or?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
He had the Ray-Bans on and everything. It was super cool.
What kind
You
of
should,
saxophone?
you should
Was it an
Google it.
alto saxophone, a tenor saxophone, a
I think it was a
baritone?
tenor, eh, Kel?
I think it was an alto, no?
Well, we know for sure that it's at least 10 or 11 years ago.
Yeah.
I'll go look for a picture. Oh,
We know it wasn't a baritone sax because that's a big fella.
The big fella.
Yep.
Yeah, these are all terms you shouldn't necessarily Google at work.
Especially with Bill Clinton attached to
The big one, big fella, things like that.
it was a tenor saxophone.
Oh, good job, Sharon.
Ah, thanks, Kel.
Yeah.
Thanks a bunch.
I had all kinds of thoughts right now that I was gonna say with big fella and interns of the White House, but I decided that
Yeah.
leave that
Leave
alone.
it there. Leave it there.
Just gonna put that off to the side. Yeah.
And sometimes when you put those things, put a little pin in it over there. It's
Yeah.
almost like it's overpowering and you can't not say something.
Yeah.
Big fella. Like
Yeah.
that.
Was he though? Anyways, back to you, Sharon.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
The internet will increase or decrease it for sure.
Yeah.
So the American Music Awards coming up. And to pay tribute to Olivia Newton-John this year, one very busy woman,
Who?
Pink, will be doing it.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
super stoked about this.
Yep.
She can do
because-
anything. She's going to do a great job.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
She really can do anything. And she was also at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony last week, and she sang. And then not long after that, there was a video posted to her social media in a little video chat with her and Brandy Carlisle. And I would highly advise you go looking for it because it's funny. Because they're sitting beside each other, and Pink says, "Hang on a second, I just have to make a phone call." And so Brandy Carlisle's like, "Okay, whatever." So she calls her. So
Yeah.
Pink calls Brandy Carlisle and says, "I'm just a little bit shy to ask you this question to your face, but," and Brandy Carlisle says, "I'm married." She goes, yeah, I love your wife. She said, "But would you maybe want to tour with me?" And she expletively agrees to do it. So Pink is hitting the road in the summertime for what will be a party style fiesta of shows with Brandy Carlisle and Pat Benatar.
Oh, nice.
So here's how I see the whole induction at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony going. Oh my God, Pat Benatar, it's so nice to meet you. Would you consider touring with me? So I think that's going to be super cool. I know for sure that we are booked for at least 2 of those shows.
There are none. There's only Toronto, right? So far for Canada. Though?
Yeah, so we're going to try and get to that one for sure, but we'll also try to get to Fenway because
Did
she's
she
doing
have-
ballparks.
Does she have a Boston date?
Yeah,
Okay,
at
good.
Fenway. Yeah.
She should
Very
come
excited.
here.
She should come here. She's been here before, that's for sure. There's a lot. I mean, you look at the post of that little video and the picture of the dates and stuff like that, and the most common thing is, oh, you're not coming to whatever, fill in the blank. There's someone of her magnitude. There's always gonna be somewhere where she's not going. It's just humanly or physically impossible to hit all the
But
cities.
maybe there'll be good news, because I know, like, I was very upset that Lizzo did not come to Montreal when she came to Toronto, because normally for us here in Canada, like, it's usually Toronto, Montreal back to back or close, and there was no dates, and now they've announced a date for us, May 4th of 2023. Lizzo's coming. I think
Very
that's
good.
fantastic.
Oh, nice.
She's so awesome. She's so cool.
She's
It's
so awesome.
about time.
I love it. And you know what? What was I hearing the other day? Wasn't it that song? How old is that song?
About damn time.
Yeah.
It's like less than a year.
Okay, so what's the first one? That first hit?
Oh, Juice,
Juice. How old is that? Like 5 now?
probably.
See, that's the effects of
That
COVID
old?
on my memory. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? How is that 5 years old? But it is.
It came out in 2019.
Was it?
Oh, it's between January 4th, 2019. So it's going to be 4 in January.
Okay, because I think I thought that must have been something that was misprinted, because I'm sure I saw something that said 2017. I'm like, I don't know about that.
And there's also a documentary coming out, by the way, on Lizzo on HBO Max, November 24th, called Love Lizzo.
Nice.
So if you're a fan of hers, and by the way, like, she is such a great person for so many people. Like, so many people around the world gravitate to her because she's just living her best self and her authentic life, and because she's a plus size woman, so many people are just finding comfort and representation with her on stage, saying, like, because she's saying, like, if I can do it, you can do it too. Like, no matter what your goal is, whether you want to be a Lizzo on stage or you want to be a surgeon, you know what I mean? Like, and I just think that's such a great uplifting thing.
We have these artists that that's one of the best things I think about. I totally sounded Canadian there. About one of the best things about music right now, and just I think life in general, is that the freedom to, proudly love who you love, whatever kind of music you love. There's room for it all. There always has been, but there's this great sort of pushing aside of, no, I can like rock. I can listen to that. I also like Lizzo and her flute solos. I like and I like that look. And you know what I mean? There's no commitment to these genre boxes that are constricting to the artist and unfair to fans, to sort of put you in a place where you have to choose. We can like everything.
You can like Pink Floyd and Lizzo.
You can like Pink Floyd and Pink. And any other colors. Yeah, we are fortunate. So big Pink tour, so big Pink news. And when you look back on what Pink's been doing over the course of the past few years, pandemic wise and entertainment wise, she's already got 4 songs out with no album. So once that album finally comes, we will have been very familiar with at least half of it. What was the other thing? So Brandi Carlile on the Pink tour. Brandi Carlile got a bunch of nominations also for the Grammys. Lizzo got a bunch of nominations for the Grammys too. And who was the other big name? Was it Beyonce? I think.
I know Beyonce. I don't know the exact number, but I know she got stuff, I think, for best dance recording and stuff like that. So
yeah. So that'll be another fun.
Beyonce's back, yo.
Beyonce.
Yes. This weekend, I rewatched her Homecoming on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
It's so good. I just watched it all on Saturday night, and I'm gonna watch that. She's amazing. You've never seen it?
No.
It's pretty much it's her show at Coachella.
Oh, nice.
Like there's 3, 4, 5 times during the show where they stop the show to show like behind the scene footage and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Noted.
I recently got the Paramount Network to watch my Yellowstone.
Yes.
And as I was waiting for Yellowstone the other night, because season 5 is out, I saw they had a behind the music. They've managed to get that show and put it on. And so I watched, when I was waiting for Yellowstone, and I had never seen it before. I watched the George Michael episode, And it
Oh,
was
wow.
amazing and sad all at the same time. Like, I miss his voice like nobody's business. Like, I'm
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
so glad we can go tune in and obviously listen to his stuff, but like the fact that there's no new stuff coming ever again, I'm like, it's so sad for the world because his voice is so unique. Like, it's sad. I love Georgie.
Yeah. Oh
Mhm.
my gosh, no kidding.
And just to close down on the Grammy nominations, Beyonce, Kendrick Lamar, and Adele are the top nominees for
Isn't that
this
amazing?
ceremonies.
With
Yeah.
how many, Adam?
I have let me click on the CBC News link.
Okay. Because usually they're like, with 27 nominations, Beyonce.
Beyonce received 9, Adele received 7, and I can't find Kendrick up here, but he was in the title. So
Probably up there as well.
That's cool.
Drake's album didn't make it either. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but he isn't he vocal about not going to the Grammys now? Him and The Weeknd, I think.
I
Oh,
don't.
really?
Yeah, The Weeknd definitely, because he got completely shunned like 2 years ago or whatever. And it was a glaring omission. I
Yeah.
guess, like, considering like Blinding Lights, was ridiculous, and as were so many other songs on that album.
I
You're
bet.
right. He did. He did.
Oh, he pulled all of his stuff
Yeah,
out
he
of the
just
running,
brought-
right?
he's stepping back from the Grammys. He's probably not even submitting his albums. So
That's good. You know why? Because of exactly what you were just saying. The song Blinding Lights was huge.
mhm.
Huge. So that to get no attention from an award show like the Grammys is ridiculous. And it proves that you don't actually need the award show to elevate what people already loved.
Mhm.
So it's a danger. It's almost like it's a danger for an award show not to nominate what's, people are actually loving. What are you going to do? So I'm distracted by some photos that I'm looking at here at the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And the most recent shining star on the Walk of Fame is Christina Applegate. How cool is that?
She's awesome.
She really is. And she's dealing with life with MS. So the fact that she's barefoot and walking with a cane, she's barefoot because she's hurt to be on. So if she doesn't have to have them on, she doesn't have to have them on. And the fact that you get a red carpet at an event like this might be nice to feel that on your bare feet. So she was looking good. She was with Katie Segal and was it Danny Faustino? Is that his first name? I'm blanking on his first name.
Yeah.
Who were there with her. And the fun thing is Dead to Me is coming back, which if you haven't watched that, totally watch that so that you're ready for the 3rd season. And really cool. What did she say about the induction, or not the induction rather, but the star? Was she said, I've had a really interesting life, but the life started as a little girl waiting in line to see the first Star Wars on this very street at that very theater, and looking at these things and going, who are these people? What are these things? Meaning stars on the ground. Did they do something right? Did they do something wrong? Whatever it is, I want one. I effing want one. So here she is from being a little kid to being a grown up, and a really great actress. That she's got her own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So congratulations to Christina Applegate.
Bravo.
What else do we want to get to? We got a 90s rewind to do. But did I forget something else that we mentioned? Oh, it was the holiday supremacy battle.
Oh, right.
That between Mariah Carey and Dolly Parton. There's really strong links to our show today and people that were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because Dolly Parton made her way in. We talked about that last show. But in true, humble Dolly Parton fashion, I guess somebody asked her, it was an interview with Better Homes and Gardens that was asking her, that Dolly Parton might be the new queen of Christmas. And she said, now, don't you say that. I'm not going to compete with Mariah. She says, I love her. You think of Christmas, you think of Mariah. I'm happy to be second in line to her. Isn't that amazing?
So amazing.
That's just the power of Dolly Parton. She's positive. She does nice things. She sings great songs. She writes great songs. And of course, Mariah Carey. Dolly, let's settle this one. You are the queen of everything. The queen of the world, the queen of Christmas, the queen of mine. Love you.
That's perfect. That's the perfect answer to that.
See, that's another throwback to what we were saying before, that you can do anything, be anything, like anything, just be settled and happy in the world that you're in.
Mhm.
And I think I'm loving the fact that Mariah is where she's at in her life, that she can have like an online back and forth with Dolly Parton, and that seems totally accessible to us as fans. It's amazing.
We should put in a request to Mariah, see if she wants to come on the big show.
Ah, why not? She
You can
might
be
just
our
do it.
queen of everything, if that's
Yeah.
what it
Well, I told you, I think I told you before, she often jumps on Twitter fan groups that are talking, like doing like live streams. She often does that. She jumps on and talks to the fans. And like I've heard audio of fans like literally screaming as if they're on
Losing
fire.
their
Like they're
marbles.
literally on fire because she just jumped into the chat. They had no idea she was coming. And then she's so great with her fans, because she'll be like, what was that album again that I did that? And they're like, it was this one, but she's like, oh yeah, I forgot. That's great. Like she's just, and then
Oh, I
like
love it.
men are like squealing. They're like,
Yeah.
it's so cool. So
It's her.
it's her. It's really awesome that she does that. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Mhm.
Well, you know what? We'll do a 90s rewind so that we can get into some flashback vibes to 1996. Around this time in 1996, Eric Clapton was pretty mellow on a song called Change the World. But then the backing vocals from Babyface actually softened the edges even more. And we started hearing that song in the summer of 96, but it was still charting in November of 96. That was from the Phenomenon soundtrack. Speaking of mellow, Tony Braxton was singing one of the ultimate songs of the Dumped, Unbreak My Heart. Hit us right in the feels and really tested our ability to hit the lowest possible notes, as was just exemplified.
Hit us right in the big fellow, right, Sharon?
You did a great job.
Yeah. How about Journey? Journey was still a thing, actually. They got back at it with Steve Perry in 96. When You Love a Woman was a huge hit for them. And they've got tour plans, just to give your now quotient, for 90s Now. They'll be touring without Steve Perry. So yes, they got back together with him in 96, but they were without him in the plans for the new year. Sheryl Crow laid it all out with an approach to clearing the cobwebs, the stumbling blocks that life can provide and does usually provide. So if it makes you happy, had Sheryl Crow all amped up on our radios and our portable CD players. Skip free BS. And if we were to narrow the gap between Celine Dion and, say, Meatloaf, it would be with the song that she hit with in 1996, written by longtime Meatloaf collaborator Jim Steinman many years prior. He believes the song should have been recorded by a female, so he actually held on to the song so tightly that he took legal action to prevent Meatloaf from recording it. Meatloaf's like, I want it. He's like, no. So Celine got it and did really well with it in 1996. So that is your 90s rewind.
Thank you, Sharona.
It's a pleasure. You guys, we did it.
Yeah.
Another show in the books.
I know Adam has to rumble. Last thing, just a quick music selection that both of you should check out. So Louise Redknapp is a British artist from Britain, obviously, who used to be in the 90s girl group Eternal.
Yep.
Okay, so she had been she had a very successful solo career, took time off to have her boys and raise them, got a divorce a few years ago, and is now back recording. She has a new song that's just come out called Super Magic. It is absolutely killer. And Sharon, you will love this song. Love it. And it sounds like it could be a track that Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis produced and put on Janet's Control album.
Okay, but her album name, her artist name is just Louise.
It is, yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, good, because I put in the full name and a lot comes up that has
nothing
to do with that
Super
song.
Magic is the new track, and it's bananas. It's really good.
Bananas. Super Magic.
And I have to say a big shout out to Rachel. Every time I give a suggestion for music at the end of the show, she goes and listens.
Yeah.
So,
As she should.
Thanks, Rachel.
As everybody should.
Rachel.
Right.
I think it's a great feature, Kel, to have that at the end. It nows up the 90s now.
Thank you. I'm all about finding the new tunes. Oh, and Louis Tomlinson from One Direction has a new song out called Silver Tongues. Sharon, Adam, you will love this song. It's so catchy. I'm super happy for him because I think Louis Tomlinson's going to get radio play with this. Like, this is
good.
Really good.
There's
Did he
not just
ever
going to be
get some
L.
radio play?
I think he has, but this is like really a radio song. This is like a punk pop song, and it's bananas.
Silver
Punk pop
tongue.
bananas.
And I think he only says the title like at the beginning of the song, and then he never says it again. But it's great.
Cool. We'll look for that too.
Silver tongues.
Sweet. Well,
Now my tongue is gonna be silent. Bye, people.
Hi, Cal.
Bye, you guys. Great to see you. And everybody else, thank you as always for finding us and listening to finding us wherever it is that you do. We appreciate it. We're all over the place because we're that type. But we really appreciate that you're listening to 90s Now. Still happening.